The Hagerstown Tigers, ranked number 7 in Class 2A, as they take on your 0-1 Wapahani Lady Raiders here tonight. Again, as always, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy, ready to get things started here tonight. Here with our Raiders Live pregame show presented by the Liberty Prairie Alumni Association. So Wapahani started off their season last night on the road at Northeastern. This was last night, again, one of 4 consecutive days of Lady Raider softball here tonight. Obviously tonight's game, tomorrow night they're back here at home against Mississinawa, and then Thursday they're back on the road at Westell. So this is game 2 here tonight, home opener. No doubt a big night for these girls. And Hagerstown, again, they're a good team. They're coming in here, as I already mentioned, number 7 in Class 2A. They're already 2-0 on the year. So this will be their 3rd game here tonight, our 2nd game. But really looking forward to seeing these girls and watching them improve here throughout the course of the season. We finished up, those of you that tuned in to our season preview show last week. We talked about how last year it was just, just an unfortunate season. It was a kind of a rebuilding year, and we're still a little bit in the process of that. But I think you're going to see a lot of improvement here under head coach Tom Noble, and we're really eager to watch these girls not only play here tonight but play throughout the season and watch them improve and get better and better every single game. And you never know what can happen. It's a long season, and I think that this is going to be an exciting time here for them to, again, have a great season, look to improve, and get better every day. And hopefully, at the end of this, they'll be on a smiling side of the scoreboard here tonight. So, nonetheless, we'll take a quick break here on the WHS Network. And this has been a Raiders Live pregame show presented by the Liberty Prairie Alumni Association. We'll be back here with tonight's starting lineups and the national anthem here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Again, as we take a look here at tonight's starting lineups, first for the visiting Hagerstown Tigers here tonight. Again, presented by the Some American Legion, post 437. It will look like this here for the Tigers. Leading off, playing shortstop, number 96, Mac Johnson. Batting second to third baseman, number 27, Alea Anderson. Batting third, the right fielder, number 18, Cam Robertson. Batting cleanup and pitching for the Tigers, number 10, Sydney Dobbs. Batting fifth and catching, number 4, Addie Miller. Batting sixth and playing second base, number 11, Coley Parrish. Batting seventh and playing center field, number 13, Jerica Allred. Batting eighth and playing first base, number 8, Layla Cool. And batting ninth and playing left field, number 16, Harper Fisher. Again, the Hagerstown Tigers are coached by Mr. Bruce Charles. And now we'll take a look here at your Wapahani Lady Raider softball team here tonight. The starting lineup will look like this here for the Lady Raiders. Again, tonight's starting lineup presented here by Some American Legion, post 437. So leading off and playing shortstop, number 10, Taylor Weller. Batting second and pitching, number 1, Zoe Coger. Behind home plate, hanging the signs right there for Zoe will be the catcher, number 23, Lindy Lovegrove, batting third. Batting cleanup will be the first baseman, number 56, Sydney Tomey. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 3, Kendall Smith. Batting 6th and playing second base, number 22, Lila Chambers. Batting 7th and playing right field, number 7, Emily Manning. Batting 8th and playing left field, number 15, Lily Kirkland. And batting 9th and playing center field, number 2, Kendall Carpenter. Again, your Raiders are coached by Tom Noble, assisted by Tyler Parks and Ashton Painter. Folks, stay right here with us. The national anthem coming up, and tonight's first pitch here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Three and one. And that's going to be a deep fly ball in the left center field. And gone! Quentin James. It's Kayla Harold for battling in this bat so far. The 1-2 pitch gets her swinging for strike 3. A job well done by Zoe Koger getting the strikeout. All right, folks, welcome back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network, here on YouTube.com, as well as the IHSA Champions Network. Again, home opener here for this Lady Raider softball team for the 2026 season to get underway again last night. On the road at Northeastern, lost that one 5-0, did Wapahani. But, there's a silver lining here in it. When you look at last year's game, we lost that game 19-0. I guess I should say we lost it by 19 runs. I honestly, I cannot remember what the final score actually was. But no doubt, much improved. And, I think that's the process you have to take. But you're here to win every ball game, no matter what. So they got to be ready to play, and we're looking forward to this one here tonight. Again, our umpires here this evening is Mr. Terry Summers and Candy Ranson. So that is our umpires here for this evening's ball game, as we're just about set to get underway here tonight. Again, leading things off here for Hagerstown will be the shortstop, number 96, Mac Johnson. And dropping down a bunt down the third baseline, that will head foul. 0-1 the count here on Johnson. Again, our East Jackson Auto Sales defensive alignment here for Wapahani here this evening. Out in left field, we have Kirkland in center, Kendall Carpenter. Over in right is Emily Manning. And then Smith, Weller, Chambers, and Tomey around the horn there in the infield, with our pitcher and catcher being Zoe Koger and Lindy Lovegrove. So, again, that is our East Jackson Auto Sales defensive alignment here this evening. So 1-2 the counts. Oh, excuse me, 2-1 the count. That one's going to be fouled off. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Koger. That's going to miss outside for ball 3. So a full count here on Johnson. First at bat of the night. Again, Hagerstown coming in 2-0 on the season. Here's the pitch from Koger. And that's going to be laced foul and out of play. So we're going to redo it again here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, this Lady Raider softball team, still a pretty young team, but no doubt, a good skill set, and I think that these girls will only continue to get better throughout the course of the season. Here's the pitch from Koger. That will be in there for ball 4. Nope. Rather ball 3. Heck, I guess we're all kinds of out of sorts. First game of the season, though. So we'll adjust right here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This time for real. And that one's going to be chopped foul. So the count will remain here at full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, awaiting on deck will be Elia Anderson, followed by Cam Robertson here for the Tigers. Here's the payoff pitch, and shot out there in the left field. That will get down for a leadoff single to begin the ball game here tonight. So Johnson down at first, and Anderson due up here for Hagerstown to begin the ball game.
Third baseman, number 27, Elia Anderson.
So again, Anderson steps in here with 1 on, nobody out to begin the ball game. Koger looking to roll up a double play right here. And that pitch low to throw down to second will not be in time. So a stolen base for Johnson, 1-0 the count here on Anderson. So 1-0 the count. Again, Anderson back in there. Koger towing the rubber. Here's the pitch. Brought the bat back. And they end up stealing third base. Did Johnson there on the play on the throw back to the pitcher. So 2 balls and no strikes on Elia Anderson. The 2-0 popped up in the left field, and that's going to head all the way to the wall. So Kirkland will get it back in a hurry, but a RBI double for Elia Anderson. Second hit already of the ball game. It's a 1-0 lead here for the Hagerstown Tigers, just like that. So again, credit Anderson there with the RBI. She's now out at second base. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, number 18, Cam Robertson. In there for a called strike, 0-1. Koger gets her signs. Here's the pitch. That must have missed just a touch low. The throw to third. Now we've got a run down right here. And she's out. Nicely done right there by Kendall Smith. So 1 down now in the inning. The count here at a ball and a strike. So 1 down. Again, Robertson, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. That pitch again low. So 2-1 the count here on Cam Robertson. Here's the pitch. That will once again miss low. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, nobody on and 1 out here in the visiting half, the first inning. The pitch right back at Koger. Way to field your position, Zoe. So Zoe quickly disposes of her. 2 down now in the inning after the 1-3 put away. And now with 2 outs, it's going to bring up the pitcher, number 10, Sydney Dobbs. Dobbs looking to help her own cause right here, but Koger and the Raiders looking to end the inning and get the sticks going here in the bottom half. Here's the pitch. And that misses inside for ball 1. Again, Dobbs batting cleanup here for the Tigers this evening. Here's the 1-0 offering. That's going to be found back and out of play. So an even count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That misses low and inside for ball 2. So the count stands here, 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. The pitch from Koger popped up in the right field and misplayed there by Manning. She'll throw on the second, so that will be a 2-out double here from Sydney Dobbs.
Next up to bat, we have Tiger catcher, number 4.
So the catcher, number 4, Addie Miller, will now step in. But before that, we'll have a courtesy runner now at second base. And that will be number 5, Brinley Marshall.
Runner, number 5, Brinley Marshall.
So Marshall on to run for the Tigers. Again, a runner at second base, 2 away here in the inning. Again, 1 run has already come on home to score. So Miller stands in, runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Popped up down the right side and out of play. Nothing in 1 to count. Here on the Tigers, catcher Addie Miller. Following her is Coley Parrish. Hopefully we won't get that far. And hopefully Koger can find a way out of the inning right here. The pitch will miss low and in. So 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. Courtesy runner Marshall down at second base. Here's the 1-1. And that one in there for ball 2. So again, Miller with a golden opportunity right here to find a way to put another run up on the board here for the Tigers. Koger and the Raiders again trying to get out of the inning right here. There's already 1 run that's already scored, and we want to leave it right there. But a very, very favorable count right here for Miller. Now at 3 balls and a strike. Koger gets her signs there from Lovegrove. Here's the pitch. Popped up down the right field line. That's going to head well foul. So that will run the count to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if they end up putting the runner in motion. Normally you would not do that, at least in this instance. But nonetheless, Koger back on the rubber right here. She'll look back in there to her catcher, Lindy Lovegrove. Here's the payoff pitch. And that is strike 3 looking for the 3rd and final out of the inning. But the Tigers do put a run up on the board here in this top half of the 1st inning. A run on 3 hits, also no errors, and 1 left as we head here to the home half of the 1st inning. Wapahani down by 1 as we enter the bottom half first. We'll be back with more here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. right, folks, welcome back live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Here with the home half of the first inning, we've got Taylor Weller, Zoe Koger, and Lindy Lovegrove due up here in this home half, the first inning here tonight. Again, tonight's game brought to you by Air Park Door, a proud sponsor of us here on the WHS Network. Appreciate them, and we appreciate you all for tuning in here tonight. Hopefully all of you have had a fantastic start to your week as we head into Wednesday tomorrow. Obviously, this Lady Raiders softball team, this is only their second game of the week of 4. So tomorrow night, again, they'll be right back here at home against Mississinawa, and then Thursday they'll be on the road in their first MEC conference game of the season as they will be taking on Westdale. So some upcoming games here for the Lady Raiders. Hope you guys come on out and support them and root them on to victory a couple more times here throughout the week. But we're going to start things off here tonight. Again, here with the Lady Raiders shortstop, number 10, Taylor Weller. And Sydney Dobbs, the one towing the rubber here tonight for Hagerstown. Is that one in there for a called strike? Nothing in one the count here on freshman sophomore Taylor Weller. There's the windup and the pitch. That's going to miss inside there for ball 1. Here's the windup and the 1-1 offering. So a ball and 2 strikes here on Weller. Anything close. Got to find a way to protect the plate and hopefully find some open real estate out there. Here's the 1-2. That's going to be low and away for ball 2. Again, Weller, one of about 3 freshmen, or make that 4 freshmen, in the starting lineup tonight here for Wapahani. Here's the 2-2. It's going to be fouled back and out of play, so the count will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Weller steps back in. Dobbs back on the rubber here for the Tigers. Here's the 2-2 once again, and Weller will strike out swinging for out number 1 here of the inning. So with 1 down, that will bring to the plate one of 3 seniors on this Lady Raider softball team, and that is pitcher number 1, Zoe Koger. Koger had a very good junior season overall. Nothing to be disappointed about, I'll tell you that much. I mean, other than obviously the record, but you know, that is what it is there sometimes. But Koger on the season led the team in a variety of different categories statistically. One of those was the lone home run of the season. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and that will catch the inside corner, 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here on Koger, the pitch, called strike 2. So in the hole here, it's another bat right here. Already we've got to find a way to protect the plate right here and put the bat on the ball. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So back-to-back batters so far sent down via the strikeout tonight here from Sydney Dobbs of Hagerstown. So that will bring up the catcher, number 23, Lindy Lovegrove. Again, another freshman here for this Raider softball team. Looking to bring some thunder right here. The pitch in there for a called strike. 0-1 to begin things here on Lovegrove. So, now, from a hitting standpoint, now you've got to be ready. So if that ball's in the zone, we've got to put a charge into it. And Lovegrove will do that, but unfortunately that one will sail foul out of play. So in a little bit of a disadvantage here. No balls and 2 strikes. Following her, Sydney Tomey waiting on deck. And here's the 0-2. Gets her swinging for strike 3. So 3 up, 3 down go the Raiders here in the home half of the first inning. Again, as Dobbs will strike out the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left as we head to the top of the second inning here from beautiful Raider Field. 1-0 is your score. After 1 inning of play, we'll step aside, and we'll be back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here with inning number 2 here on the WHS Network. 1-0 is your score as we head here to the top of the second inning. And we'll lead things off here with the second baseman, number 11, Coley Parrish. Here's the 1-0 offering, and that's going to be hit down the left field line. That's going to get by the left fielder, Kirkland, and go all the way to the wall. Parrish makes her turn on the third, and she'll be in there standing up with a leadoff triple to begin this top half of the second inning. So already the 4th hit and 6 batters of the evening. So Parrish now at third. The center fielder, number 13, Jericho Allred at the plate. So 0-1 the count. And bunt put down, the third down. Oh, my. That's going to get by the second baseman, roll all the way down the right field fence. So a miscue right there will allow 1 run and then another right back to third base again there in Allred. So the error on the throw allowed the run to come home. So no RBI there for Allred. Ground ball there to third baseman. Nice play right there by Smith. So Kendall Smith, 5-3 put away there to Tomey there on the back end. So 1 down now in the inning. And the first base, number 8, Layla Coolgan, was on that 5-3 put away there for the first down of the inning. Now the left fielder, number 16, Harper Fisher, will step in. Look back, and Chambers unable to squeeze it. So an error right there again. This will make this a 3-0 ball game. Now runner down at first base there in Fisher. Again, one thing we have to avoid, and that is errors. They will happen, don't get me wrong, but the basic fundamentals of the game, throwing, catching, we've got to be as clean as possible.
7 up to the plate. Top of the batting order, shortstop, number 96, Matt Johnson.
Throw down the second will not be in time. So she'll be in there safely. 0-1 the count. Here on the top of the lineup hitter, shortstop Mac Johnson. Already her second plate appearance here of the evening. Singled there in the first. Stole second and third, and then later on scored on the RBI double from Aaliyah Anderson. So 0-2 the count here on Johnson. Here's the 0-2 offering. Popped up. Foul ground. They're down the third base side, and nobody will be able to get there, but great hustle there by Weller, as well as Kirkland and Smith on the play. So the count will stay put here at 0-2. Again, Fisher out there at second base. The pitch fouled back and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Johnson popped up once again down the third base side, foul and out of play. And so now time has been called. Lovegrove will have a quick chat here with her pitcher. And right back to home plate she goes. Here's the pitch. Miss upstairs. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Fouled right back again, and Johnson, no doubt, a tough out. That's why she's the leadoff hitter for a reason. Not only does she get on base, but she makes pitchers work. So the count still stands. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch popped up again, foul and out of play. And that is now the 4th foul ball here of the inning. Again with 0-2 on her at the time. And that's going to get through the right side of the infield. And the throw to home plate will not be in time. So that will plate another run to make this now a 4-0 lead. So the single there by Johnson. She advances on the second on the throw home. That plated Fisher.
Next up to bat, number 27, Aaliyah Anderson.
So you can give Johnson the RBI right there. And Aaliyah Anderson now back at the plate again. Had a RBI double back in the first inning to get the scoring underway there for the Tigers. Still only 1 away. Here's the pitch. Popped up and out of play. 0-1 the count to begin things here on Anderson. Following her will be Cam Robertson. Again, Koger and the Raiders, again, they're just trying to find a way to get an out right here and get out of the inning. Obviously, we have 2 more outs to gather, but we've got to start somewhere. So 1-1 the count. Here's the 1-1. And I suppose that will miss a low for ball 2. Ground ball there to the shortstop. Weller on the first. Nice play. 6-3 put out there for out number 2. Again, the runner does move up to third base.
Next up to bat, we have number 18, Cam Robertson.
So with 2 down, that's going to bring up the right fielder, number 18, Cam Robertson. She grounded out there to the pitcher there in the first inning. And 1-0 is the count so far here on Robertson. Again, 3 runs have scored here in this inning. Koger would like to leave it at that. Popped up, shallow right field, and that wind blows it in the foul ground, and nobody will get there. And that is a little bit of a factor here today. Thankfully, the wind's not blowing as bad as what it did maybe yesterday. But it's still definitely a little breezy, especially down there on the field. And can wreak havoc on softball, especially once you get it up there in the air. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Misses high and in right there for ball 2. So 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Popped up, shallow left center field. Weller is there, and she will make the catch for the third and final out of the inning. Again, actually 3 runs come on home to score here in the inning. They got 3 runs here on 2 hits, also 2 errors. And 1 runner left on base. We'll head here to the bottom half of the second inning. Hagerstown 4, Wapahani 0. You're on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, again, welcome back here. Bottom half of the second inning here from beautiful Raider Field. Again, the Raiders down 4-0 as we begin this second inning of play. And we're going to lead things off here with the first baseman, Sydney Tomey. And that will miss just inside there for ball 2. Dobbs here in her second inning of work. Shut down the Raiders there in the bottom half of the first inning. Struck out the side, so the Raiders trying to change their fortunes here in inning number 2 and find a way to get some base runners aboard and hopefully put some runs across. Here's the 2-1 offering. That's going to miss low and wide. So the count here at 3 balls and a strike here on Sydney Tomey. We got 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up here in this home half of the second inning. Dobbs taking an extending look. Here's the 3-1. In there for called strike 2. So a full count here on the Raiders' first baseman. And the payoff pitch. Chopped foul to the third base side. So this will already be the 7th pitch of the at-bat already. So far so good here for Sydney, but trying to top it off right here with finding a way on. And that's exactly what she'll do. Excellent at-bat. there for Sydney Tomey, so she makes her way on down to first base with a leadoff walk. Take that all day, every day.
Number 3, Kendall Smith.
That's how hopefully a rally will start. And now we'll have the third baseman, number 3, Kendall Smith, at the plate. Another freshman here for the Lady Raiders. And that one's going to be popped up back there to the backstop area. The catcher cannot get there in time. So 0-1 the count here on Kendall Smith. Dobbs will get her signs, and here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Following Smith will be Chambers, and then Manning. And hopefully we can get a little bit further than that this inning. Here's the 0-2. That's going to fall low for ball number 1. One and two the count here on Smith, the pitch. And that's going to be laced there in the left field, so the Raiders will have him at first and second. And that'll be the first hit of the evening here for the Lady Raiders, and that will go to freshman third baseman Kendall Smith. Nice piece of hitting there. So she's down at first base. Tomey at second. So a walk and a single. Might as well go ahead and continue the trend right here and get a double right here. And that's going to be the second baseman, number 22, Lila Chambers, at the plate. That misses inside, and we're going to have a play at third, and out is the call. Smith does move up to second, so one down now in the inning, 1-0 the count here on Chambers. One ball, one strike. Again, Smith with pretty good speed out there at second base. And the 1-1. That was rifled out of play right there off the bat of Chambers. So again, Lila finds herself in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Got to protect at all costs right here, the pitch. And that will sit down there in a shallow right field. How about that? A couple of hits here in the inning. Hopefully this is a great sign of even better things to come right here. But Lila will collect the hits after being down 1 and 2 in the count. Again, Smith now at third. Chambers at first. Runners on the corners with only one away. And the right fielder, number 7, Emily Manning, will now stand in at home plate. Again, just main thing is you've got to find a way to be productive. Every at bat, we've got to find a way to be productive right here. So even if you make an out, make sure it's a productive out. So 0-1 the count here on Manning. Again, obviously looking to get a hit right here, a walk. And down 4-0, but trying to make a dent in that lead here for the Tigers. Count here at a ball and a strike. Dobbs back here on the pitching rubber. The wind-up, the 1-1 pitch. The third down to second will be, I don't know if it was in time or not, but the Raiders do score a run after the double steal. And they say that she is safe down there at second base, so how about that? Getting the running game here going. It's going to be 2 balls I think it's 2 balls and a strike. Went fishing right there on that swing there from Manning. So 2-2 the count here again. Still have a great opportunity right here to find a way on base. And Manning will go down swinging for strike 3. So 2 down now after the strikeout there of Manning. And that will bring up the left fielder, number 15, Lily Kirkland. Again, Kirkland, the 4th freshman here in this starting lineup. So 0-1 here on Lily. Following her will be Kendall Carpenter. And then the top of the lineup in a 4-1 ball game. Trying to manufacture some runs right here. That pitch will sail high and out of the zone for now a 1-ball, 1-strike count here on Lily Kirkland. Again, you have Lila Chambers at second base, and the pitch in there for a called strike, 1-2. Dobbs will rock back. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled off. So Kirkland, again, a little bit of a jam shot right there. But, yeah, anything, 2 strikes, anything close, you got to find a way to put the bat on the ball and live another day right here. Here's the pitch. Oh, strike 3 looking, and that will end the inning. But the Raiders do push a run across. And, hopefully even greater things will come here throughout the course of the ball game. But you got to start somewhere. So a run here on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We'll head here to the top of the 3rd. Again, here from beautiful Raider Field, Hagerstown 4, Wapahani 1. Here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back. Here's we begin this top half of the 3rd inning here from beautiful Raider Field here in Selma, Indiana. Again, if you're just tuning in here for the first time this evening, we want to say welcome to the WHS Network, and thank you for spending your Tuesday evening here with us. Again, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is the bearded one, Jordan Redbeard McCoy. We're here with inning number 3 here this evening. A 4-1 start here for Hagerstown, and that one in there for a called strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now on the pitcher, number 10, Sydney Dobbs. The pitch from Koger. Little nub shot here to the shortstop. Weller collects the throw on the first in time. Well done. 6-3 put away there for out number 1. Great pitch there from Koger. And nice play there from Weller. And then on the other end there to Tomey.
Tiger catcher, Eddie Miller.
So with 1 down here in the top of the 3rd inning, that's going to bring up the catcher, number 4, Addie Miller. Miller on the night, struck out looking back in the first inning. So 1-0 to begin things here on Miller. And Wapahani put a run up on the board there in the bottom half of the 2nd inning to kind of, hopefully get things going here in the right direction. Koger back on the rubber. And the 2-0. That's going to be fouled right back to the backstop. So the count here at 2 balls and 1 strike. Nice looking pitch. And finding the corner right there. So 2-2 the count here on the Tigers. Catcher Addie Miller, the pitch. Ground ball, third base side. That will get foul. So yet again, redo it here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, tonight's game brought to you by Air Park Oregon, a proud sponsor of us here on the WHS Network and a proud supporter of Wapahani Athletics. Here's the 2-2. And that did not miss by much, but low. So the count here, full 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff popped up in the infield. And foul ball will be the call. Lovegrove unable to make the catch right there. So we're going to do it again here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3-2 as Miller will step back in there. Koger with a pitch. And that's going to get right by the third baseman in the left field. So gave Miller an extra opportunity, and she made good of that opportunity with now the 6th hit of the night here for the Tigers. So she's on down there at first base, and that will bring up the second baseman, number 11, Coley Parrish.
Number 11, Coley Parrish.
And that's going to be hit squared right up there in the center field. Carpenter will make the throw in. The throw to third will not be in time. And now play at the plate. I'm not sure what in the world just happened right there. I thought originally that the ball might have went into the dugout. So, she was just kind of making her way home. The runner did. And that was not even the case at all. She kind of turned on the afterburners there late and ended up going ahead and coming on home to score there off the throwing error. So we're going to have a little bit of a mound meeting right here. We'll take a quick pause. 6-1 Hagerstown here in the 3rd inning. All right, folks, again, the mound visit over with. Definitely, I'm sure, a little deflating there from the Raiders. You recorded the very first out of the inning, and then you thought, he was about to get a second out there after that pop-up there from Miller. And instead, we couldn't make the play. Then the base hit there in the left field. And then very first pitch, that ball was essentially shot out of a cannon there to center field in the bad throw, and next thing you know, you find yourself now down by 5 runs. So, but again, you got to put that in the rearview mirror. Learn from it, get better from it. You can't do anything about that now. You can only worry about what you can do from this point forward. Loop there, and that's going to get over the head there of Tomey. That's going to be a fair ball. The throw to second will not be in time. And so that ball didn't even get out of the infield, and it's going to end up being a double here for Jerica Allred. So she's now down at second base on the double. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, number 8, Layla Cool. And that will be outside for ball number 1. So again, Cool, 0 for 1 here on the evening. Grounded out to the third baseman back in the second inning. That was a nice play there from Smith at the time. And that pitch will miss as well. So 2-0 the count by Layla Cool. Again, the Raiders have 3 errors here in the ball game, and especially against a team like this, which regardless of who you play, you can't afford to give away outs. Unfortunately, you really can't do that against a good team to the caliber here of Hagerstown, and unfortunately, those errors have come back to bite us all 3 times. So that will be a 4-pitch walk here to Layla Cool. She'll make her way down to first base. And they will now have runners at first and second. Still only 1 away here in the inning. And the number 9 hitter in the order, the left fielder, number 16, Harper Fisher, will stand in. So Fisher reached base on an error there in the second inning. And then later on scored after the RBI single from Mac Johnson. So we will have a courtesy runner at first base. Again, the courtesy runner, though, with a sweatshirt on, so we have no idea who that is because we can't see her jersey number. So again, we recorded the first out here of the inning on the very first batter, and since then 4 consecutive have reached. And that's going to get over the head there of Manning in the right field. That's going to go near the wall. The throw home. Nicely done right there by Emily Manning to only limit that not only to a double, but to make sure that another run does not score right there. So good job there by Manning to get that in quick, fast, and in a hurry. But the double there by Fisher will further add a threat here for the Tigers here in this top of the third inning. And the Raiders are just in a little bit of a bad spot, but they can find their way out of it. But we've got to find a way to get an out right here, right now, for obvious reasons. So 0-1 the count here on the leadoff young lady here for the Tigers. That's shortstop number 96, Mac Johnson. This is already her 3rd plate appearance of the night in the 3rd inning, may I add. So far, 1 for each inning. That's definitely not a trend you want to continue. She's 2 for 2, a couple of stolen bases, also a run scored, and an RBI. And that's going to get through into center field. 1 run scores, 2 run scores. And she'll make her way now to second base there on the throw. That was cut off there by Koger. So that is now the 10th hit of the evening for the Tigers. So again, the RBI single that scored Allred, actually Cool, and then Fisher. And now you can put another run up on the board. So 10-1. So again, 1-0 the count here on Anderson. That's in there for a strike. And Kirkland will run out of room to get to that one. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Aaliyah Anderson. And that will be in time. Nicely done.
Coming up to the plate, we have number 18, Cam Robertson.
So again, now 2 down here in the inning after the 5-3 put away. And the right fielder, number 18, Cam Robertson at the plate. Ground ball, that's going to head foul. So 0-1 the counts on Robertson. Again, 6 runs have scored here in the 3rd inning. This once was a 4-1 ball game to begin this inning. Again, recorded the first out, and then unfortunately things have just kind of snowballed. But again, 1 pitch at a time. I know that might sound very, I don't know, complacent, I guess. But again, you really do. You have to take it 1 pitch at a time. You really can't look too far ahead or look behind. And an error right there by the shortstop Weller. We'll now advance that runner on the second base. So now the 4th error here of the ball game here for the Raiders.
Tiger pitcher, number 10, Sidney Dobbs.
So the pitcher, number 10, Sidney Dobbs, will step in. Looking to once again help her own cause right here. And that is down the right field line, foul and out of play. So 0-1 the count. There will be no throw down to third base. So Robertson now in there after the wild pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike here on Sidney Dobbs. That again found out of play. So 1-2 the count. And this is her second at bat here of the inning. She grounded out there to the shortstop to begin this inning. Here's a 1-2. Strike 3 looking, pulling a chainsaw to end the inning. But a dynamic inning here from Hagerstown as they score 6 times here in this 3rd inning. They will score 6 runs here on 5 hits, as well as 2 errors here in the inning as well. Excuse me, actually, yeah, two errors here in the inning. So, nonetheless, got to keep getting after it right here and chip away at this lead. But 10-1 after 2.5. We'll be back here on the WHS Network. All right, welcome back. Bottom half the third inning here from Raiderfield. 10-1's your score. Hagerstown on top. As the Raiders look to chip away here at this lead, we're going to lead things off here with 9-1 and 2 hitters due up. And Carpenter with the ground out there to the first baseman. No, rather, she did not touch the base in time, they say. So really, I mean, that's an error on the first baseman. So that allows Carpenter to reach. That pitch up and out of the zone, ball one here on the top of the order now. Number 10, the shortstop Taylor Weller, steps in here for her second plate appearance here of the evening. Struck out swinging back in the first inning, but looking to change her fortunes this time around. Ground ball, and that's going to get through the right side of the infield. Carpenter makes the turn. She will head to third, and out is the call. So one down, here in the inning. Again, Weller does advance on to second base. That'll be the third hit of the day. The pitch here to Koger. That will be a wild pitch. Weller will go ahead and take third base. So 1-0 to begin things here on Koger. Again, looking to help herself right here. One ball, no strikes. The 1-0 offering. And that darn near hit her. So 2-0 the count. Here's a 2-0 in there for a called strike. There's a 2-1 pitch. It's going to be fouled back there to the backstop. So Koger here with an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, Weller down at third. Only one away here in the inning. Again, it would go a long way right here to find a way to at least push across one run. As that one fouled back to the backstop, and we're going to redo it again here at 2-2. But again, just got to keep chipping away at things. You know, obviously the top half of this inning, it's in rearview mirror, but what you do from here on out will say a lot, and I think will go a long way here for this team. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So 2 down now in the inning. And that will bring to the plate the catcher. That is number 23, Lindy Lovegrove. Lovegrove will step in here, 0 for 1 on the night, struck out swinging in the first inning. Here's the pitch. That's going to sail wide and high for ball number 1. Following Lindy Lovegrove, we'll have Sydney Tomey and Kendall Smith. We'd like to get that far, definitely for sure, in this inning. Here's the pitch. Misses low and in for ball 2. Great position to be in right here if you're Lovegrove. Is that pitch low for ball 3? Again, not sure if they will. Not sure if they will green light her right here. They might. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Nope, they didn't green light her. Again, you got to have base runners. So completely understandable on that from that perspective. So now, if you're Lovegrove, you're set. anything good, find a way to put the bat on the ball here. And that's going to be a walk. Great at bat there from Lindy. So she'll make her way on down to first base after the 2-out walk.
Number 16, Leah.
So Weller at third, Lovegrove at first, and the first baseman, number 56, Sydney Tomey at the plate. Again, 2 away, runners on the corners. And time will be called. Again, not quite sure. Not quite sure what this is necessarily about. Okay, actually, no, we'll have a pinch hitter. That's going to be number 16, Malia Simpson. Okay, so that's the reason why that we had the head coach, Tom Noble, go over and talk to the umpire. So it is number 56 that is coming out of the game. That's Sydney Tomey, and pinch hitting for her will be number 16, Malia Simpson. So in there, nothing in one the count. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2. Dobbs back on the rubber. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball here to the second base side. Tossed on to first, and that will do it. Here for inning number 3. So the Raiders do get some base runners. Unfortunately, nothing will come of it. But no runs here on a hit. Also an error. And 2 runners left on base. We'll head now to the top of the 4th inning here from Raider Field. Hagerstown 10, Wapahani 1. You're on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back. Here with our next Home Elite Realtor, Courtney Felton game break. 10-1's your score here as we head to the top of the 4th inning. And the Raiders will have some changes here, not only on the mound, but out in the field as well. So Zoe Koger moves from the pitcher's mound to third base. Kendall Smith will move from third base to the pitcher's mound. Also, Malia Simpson down at first. And out in right field is Emma Bailey. So, again, those are the pitching and defensive changes here as we begin this top half of the fourth inning here on the WHS Network. 0-1 the count. Again, here with Smith in her first inning of work. One ball, one strike. The pitch. Ground ball here to the shortstop, and that will skip over the glove of Weller and in the left field. That will be hit number 11 now on the day here for Hagerstown.
Next up to bat, number 11, second baseman, Coley Parrish.
So again, Miller down at first, and the second baseman, number 11, Coley Parrish at the plate. Here's the pitch, and that will drop in there low for ball number 1. Again, Smith coming on there in relief there for Koger. Again, just some tough luck there for Zoe. I don't think she necessarily pitched all that bad, to be honest. It was just, defense didn't necessarily help her out. It was just some good timely hitting, though, too, from Hagerstown. You got to give credit where credit's due. So we had our own mistakes. You can't afford to help out your opponent, and unfortunately we did at times. And Hagerstown then just took full advantage. So, again, that's part of the game. But, these girls will continue to get better. I know it's frustrating right now, but you got to stay in the moment right here, find a way to get it out, and hopefully get back in there to hit and hopefully score some runs here in the bottom half of the fourth. Throw down to second. That was a pretty good throw. Nearly nabbed her. But that will be a stolen base right there for Miller. And that's going to get through the right side of the infield. Bailey will come up throwing. She'll get that back into second base. And that's off the glove of Weller. And she'll end up being in there safely at second.
Next up to bat, center fielder, number 13, Jared.
So 11-1 now is your score. After the hit by Coley Parrish. Again, Miller scored on the play. We'll have Jerica Allred now at the plate. And so it looks like we might be having a pinch hitter here for the Tigers. Rather a courtesy runner. And we have no idea who that courtesy runner is. So again, Jerica Allred will step in. 1 for 2 here on the evening. Reached base on an error there in the second inning. And then had a double there in inning number 3. Pitch here from Smith in there for a ball. Okay, so we're going to have a meeting here between the umpires. Again, not quite sure what this is about. But again, just a reminder, the Lady Raiders will be back in action tomorrow night right here from Raider Field. That will be a 5 o'clock start time, or 5:30 start time, I believe, there against Mississinawa. And then on the road on Thursday night at Westell. So a couple of games coming up. You guys can have an opportunity to come out and support the Lady Raiders tomorrow night and Thursday night on the road at Westell. So 1 ball and 1 strike here on Allred. Smith trying to get an out right here right now. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be bunted foul. So 1-2 the count. Jed steps back in there. Smith back on the rubber, and the 1-2 gets her swinging, and that will be fouled off. So the count will remain here at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Smith gets her signs there from Lovegrove. Here's the pitch. Goodbye. Pull the chainsaw there for strike number 3 and out number 1. As Allred will go down looking. So with 1 down, that's going to bring up the first baseman, number 8, Layla Cool. Cool reached base her last time around, 0 for 1 on the evening. Again, her last time up, walked and then scored a run thereafter the RBI double, or excuse me, the 2 RBI single there from Mac Johnson there in that 6-run third inning. Okay, so Cool will step in. Runner at second, 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Again, 1 run's already came on home to score here in this top of the 4th inning. The pitch from Smith, that will be upstairs for ball 1. So 1-0 the count. Again, Harper Fisher waiting on deck. The number 9 hitter in the order there for Hagerstown. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. Cool steps back in. The pitch. That will miss inside. Now 3-0 here on Layla Cool. Very favorable situation there for the young lady. Hopeful here for Kendall Smith to come all the way back here in this at bat and find a way to get her out. Here's the 3-0 offering. And that will miss outside for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk there to Cool. She's down at first base with a walk. And puts runners at first and second with 1 away. And now batting will be the left fielder, number 16, Harper Fisher. Again, the number 9 hitter in the order. So it's going to be crucial right here for Smith and the Raiders to for sure at least get 1 out right here. If not, find a way to end the inning with a ground ball double play. Now, that would be the most ideal situation because, you start getting to the top of the order again, that's where a lot of the damages come from. The 0-1 here to Fisher. Sails just a touch wide there for ball 1. Smith gets her signs. Here's the 1-1. High and away, ball 2. Two balls and a strike. Again, Pears at second. Cool at first. The pitch. Right back up the middle. Nice snag there by Weller. She will get it out, but a heck of a web gym play right there from shortstop Taylor Weller. Mercy. So 2 down now in the inning. Runners now on the corners. Man, that was outstanding there from Weller.
Number 96, Mac Johnson.
So again, 6-4. Fisher at first. Again, Parrish at third. And at the top of the order, shortstop Mac Johnson at the plate. Again, she has wreaked havoc here throughout the ball game. And a little nub shot there in the left field is going to plate another run. Again, not much to it. Just flip the bat out there and good things will happen. And that, once again, will be the case for their 13th hit now of the night to make this a 12-1 ball game. So Fisher at second, Johnson at first, Leah Anderson at the plates. And outside there for ball number 1, Anderson's been on base once. A RBI double back in the first inning. And then the last 2 plate appearances have been ground outs there to the shortstop and the third baseman. Ground ball there, Weller on the third there for the force out. And that will do it here for the top of the 4th inning. So all in all, Smith did a pretty good job of limiting the damage right there, but some pretty good defense there behind her. Was able to get her out of the inning. So the Raiders, again, with some work to do here in this bottom half of the 4th inning. 12-1 is your score. Stay right here with us. We'll be back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Welcome back here again with our next only real estate hometown realtor, Courtney Felton game break. 12-1 is your score. Here as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Big thanks here again to Courtney Felton. Great teams win with heart, hustle, communication, and trust. And those are some great values that next only real estate hometown realtor, Courtney Felton, brings to every real estate move. Whether you're buying or selling, she is there to use her local roots to meet your real estate needs every step of the way. Call 765-748-6334 for all of your real estate needs. Also, a big thanks here to Henry Community Health Director of Sports Medicine, Tony Cox. He's your certified athletic trainer, and he's here to get our athletes back on the field and help them get better, stronger, and faster than ever before. For all of your rehab and recovery needs, contact Tony Cox with Henry Community Health Sports Medicine Performance Enhancement at 765-521-1131. And make your appointment now. So it's in the bottom half of the 4th inning here on the WHS Network. A 12-1 lead. Wapahani obviously has got some work to do right here. But again, one batter at a time. We've got to come out here and take care of business. So, again, we do have a new pitcher on the mound here for Hagerstown, and that is Peyton Combs. It's number 9. So, 1-0 the count. In there for a called strike. So 1-1 the count. And at the plate, here's the pitcher, Kendall Smith. Swung on and missed, strike 2. So Smith will step back in there. Cones here with the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will record the first out here of this bottom half, the 4th inning. And now we'll have the second baseman, number 22, Lila Chambers. Chambers singled there in the 2nd inning and also stole second base and was left stranded out there. Cones with a pitch. That's high and away there for ball 1. Again, Wapahani here with 3 hits here on the day. Looking for their 4th right here, right now. And Chambers will foul that one off to the right side. So even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, Cones there coming on in her relief of Sydney Dobbs. Went 3 strong innings. Toss on the first will be in time. 4-3 put away for out number 2. So with 2 out and nobody on, that will bring to the plate the right fielder, number 99, Emma Bailey. Again, she replaced Emily Manning there last inning in right field. So again, trying to spread the wealth. Get some playing time for a little bit of everybody here. As that's in there for a called strike, 0-1 here on Bailey. Strike 2. So Bailey now looking to protect here with 2 strikes. And the hole here at 0-2. The wind up, here's the pitch. Gets her swinging for strike 3. So Peyton Cones quickly shuts down the Raiders here in the home half of the 4th inning. A pair of strikeouts to show for. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. To the top of the 5th we go. Hagerstown 12, Wapahani 1 here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Why did the softball team take their softball to the hospital? It needed stitches. Coming up to the plate for the Tigers is number 18.
All right, welcome back. Top of the 5th inning here from Raider Field. 12-1's your score. Here's we head to the visiting half of the 5th inning. Right fielder number 18, Cam Robertson at the plate. She will roll that one to the third base side foul. So 0-1 quickly here on Robertson. Got 3, 4, 5 hitters due up here in the top of the 5th inning. Robertson, then we'll have Dobbs, and then Miller. One ball and 1 strike. Smith, the pitch. That's upstairs for ball 2. Here's the 2-1 offering. That one's going to be fouled off there to the backstop area. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. They're on the Tigers' right fielder. Smith will get her signs. And the pitch. And a deep fly ball there in the left field, and that's going to get foul. And shot out of the cannon there in the right center field. That was a nice piece of hitting right there. She's going to make her way to second base. That's going to be a leadoff double there for Cam Robertson. Well-struck ball. And unfortunately does not work out in the favor there of the Raiders this time around. So a leadoff double. And that will bring up the pitcher, well, not the pitcher anymore, former pitcher, number 10, Sidney Dobbs. Foul tipped, 0-1 the count. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Nice location there on the pitch from Smith. One more just like that, and we're 1 out closer to ending the inning right here. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball here, the shortstop. Weller collects. Throw on the first in time, but unfortunately, Simpson will drop the ball. So the error there on the first baseman allows Dobbs to reach base. So Robertson now at third, Dobbs at first. The catcher, Addie Miller, now at the plate. And that's a wild pitch. That's going to get by the catcher. 1 run already scores. Make this a 13-1 lead.
At the plate, we have number 4.
So 1-0 the count here on Miller. So again, Smith will get her signs. 1-0 offering. Rolls that one up there and by the catcher. So 2-0 the count. Kendall Smith. There with the windup and the pitch. And out there in the left center field. Nice snag right there by Kendall Carpenter to make the catch for out number 1. So sacrifice fly RBI there for Miller. And rather, that will not be an RBI. They say that she left third base early, and that will be a double play. So a job well done, Kendall Carpenter and the Lady Raiders right there. So 2 down now in the inning.
Up to bat is number 5, Brinley Marshall.
Ground ball right back up the middle and through into center field for Coley Parrish. So that is now her 4th hit of the day. Mercy sakes. So Brinley Marshall is actually the batter right there. I stand corrected. I did not realize that. Everything was happening so quick. So Jerica Allred now at the plate. 1-0 the counts. Here's a 1-0. Ground ball, second base side. And that's going to get under the glove there of Chambers in the center field. So 15th hit now of the night.
Up to bat number 9, Peyton Cones.
Peyton Cones now at the plate. That pitch outside to throw down to second. And out is the call at second base, so they will get her catching or get got her caught stealing. Mercy sakes, I'll get it right one of these days. 13-1's your score. We're going to head to the bottom of the fifth. We'll be back after this message.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All right, folks, again, welcome back here with our next Home Elite Real Estate hometown realtor, Courtney Felton, game break. 13-1, Wapahani down by a few with some work to do right here. Again, so far, Hagerstown 13 runs on 16 hits and 1 run. Wapahani 1 run here on 3 hits and 4 errors. As we head here to the, actually make that 5 errors, excuse me. Yet again, we've got some work to do. Obviously, you want to put together as good of a bats as you can right here in this inning. Obviously, you have the 10-run rule after 5, so we'll need to at least score 3 to keep this party rolling. We'll see what happens right here in inning number 5. But again, down by 12 here into the bottom half of the 5th inning. We're going to lead things off here for the Raiders. And that will be Lily Kirkland to lead things off. Followed by Kendall Carpenter, and then atop the lineup there with Taylor Weller. Here's the pitch. And that is in there for a called strike. 0-1 to count. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and fouled off. So the count here at 1-2 strikes here on Lily Kirkland. Again, Carpenter awaits on deck. Cones again here in her second inning of work in relief. Here's the pitch. That's going to sail high and away for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. Another one about the same exact spot now, ball 3. So full count here on Kirkland. For obvious reasons, we need base runners. Here's the payoff, and that's going to be a walk. Great at bat there by Kirkland. So she will make her way on down to first base. That's her first time on base today. That's only her second plate appearance of the day. So Kendall Carpenter now stands in at home plate with 1 on and nobody out to begin the home half of the 5th. Cones gets her signs right here. And the delivery to home plate. That's going to be up and out of the zone for ball 1. Following Carpenter, be right back to the top of the order there with Taylor Weller, then Zoe Koger and Lindy Lovegrove, etc. Ground ball, little cue shot right there off the end of the bat there of Carpenter. So an even count here of a ball and a strike. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and fouled off there at home plate. So the count now at a ball and 2 strikes. Again, Carpenter here on the evening. Reached base there in the third. After the error by the first baseman, she fielded the ball, and then she stood there and then waited till the last second to stand on the base or step on the base, and Carpenter beat her to it. So tough break there for them at the time. That's popped up there in the infield. And so that was caught there by the shortstop for out number 1 here of the bottom half of the 5th inning. So Kirkland will stay put there at first base. And to top the order we go here with the shortstop number 10, Taylor Weller. Here's the windup, the pitch. In there for a called strike on Weller. Taylor here on the night is 1 for 2, struck out swinging back in the first inning and then singled in the third. Here's the 0-1. Called strike 2. So 0-2 the count here on Weller. Ground ball, first base side, that will roll foul. So the count remains at a ball, or no balls and 2 strikes. Koger waits on deck and got one on here in the inning. Rolled that one up there. Kirkland to throw down there. She'll get back in there easily there at first. And now the 1-2 pitch. Low for ball 2. This will be the 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up, but before that, we'll have a meeting at the mound here between the catcher, pitcher, and all the infielders. Going over the big-time game plan here. They're up by 12 runs and trying to find a way out of this inning. So Weller steps back in there. Cones back on the rubber. And the 2-2 offering popped up and caught there by the second baseman. Kirkland does a nice job getting back there in time, recognizing where that ball was hit. So 2 down now in the inning, and that will bring up the third baseman, number 1, Zoe Koger. So the Raiders down to their last out in there for strike number 1. And make sure to stay right here with us at the conclusion of this ball game, whenever that may be, as that one will be rolled in there for ball 1. We'll have a very short version of a Raiders Live postgame show. One ball and a strike here on the Raiders' senior, now third baseman, Zoe Koger. The pitch high and away for ball 2. Again, I'm sure Zoe would like to find her way on base right here. Again, 0 for 2 so far tonight, struck out both times. Here's a 2-1. Wide for ball 3. So good eyes right here from Koger. Not chasing that pitch out of the zone. Making sure that she's staying within the parameters of the strike zone. So great count to be in right here. 3-1 the count. And the pitch. And rolls that up there for ball 4. So great at bat there for Zoe Koger. She'll make her way down to first base. So Kirkland at second. Koger at first. And the catcher, number 23, Lindy Lovegrove, at the plate. Want to know the count here on Lovegrove. In there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Here's the 1-1. That's high and away. Just a bit outside. 2-1 here on Lovegrove. Lindy's been on base once so far here this evening. Struck out swinging in the first. Then drew a walk in the third. The 2-1. Ground ball here to the second baseman. Tosses on to first. And in time as the first baseman touches the first base bag. And that will do it here tonight. Again, as this one be a final score here of 13-1. Hagerstown, again, now 3-0 on the season. Wapahani will now fall to 0-2. Again, they'll be back at it tomorrow night right here at home against Mississinawa. So please stick around here with us. We'll have our Raiders Live postgame show coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Hi, I'm Austin Rich with Next Home Elite Real Estate. Our company's mantra has been and will always be humans over houses. For the last several years, we have been able to help people follow our mission statement, which is enriching lives by helping people find their next home. Next Home Elite Real Estate has premier real estate agents ready to assist you with commercial properties, new construction, residential homes, or investment properties, no matter if you are looking to purchase or to sell. We are skilled negotiators, tenacious marketers, and fearless advocates for our clients. We want them to feel the passion we have for what we do and the professionalism we exemplify while we do it. Our clients depend on us to have grit and determination when we represent them. We roll up our sleeves and get to work. Every interaction, every time.
Hi, I'm Tara.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Hi, I'm Kathy.
Hi, I'm Seth.
Hi, I'm Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
We stand for doing the right thing, even when it's not convenient. We deliver integrity in all we do through our uncompromising ethical principles and values. Our clients count on us not to only help them buy or sell their home, but to make sure the process is infused with joy. We strive to bring a smile to their faces as they enter the next phase of their lives. Call Next Home Elite Real Estate today. We are here to help you.
Eason digs it out. Hunzinger with a setup to Rivers. Rivers delivers. Burger to the corner to Baker on the way from downtown. There's Baker right there with the rainmaker. Drives, finds Camden Bell. Right wing three is up. And good. Yes. Camden Bell making a rain, baby. Harold for battling in this bat so far. The 1-2 pitch. Gets her swinging for strike three. A job well done by Zoe Koger. Getting the strikeout for out 3-1. And that's going to be a deep fly ball in the left center field and gone! Quentin James with a big fly of his own, a 2-run shot. All right, folks, welcome back here with our Raiders Live postgame show. Getting presented here by Next Home Elite Real Estate hometown realtor Courtney Felton. Again, your final score here this evening, Hagerstown 13, Wapahani 1. Just a tough one, no doubt here tonight. I think it was, there was a variety of things I think that went on. I think that, you factor in offense, we couldn't necessarily get the bats going. We did have some base runners throughout the ball game, but we just couldn't get that big hit. To kind of push us across here a little bit, to add more runs. Defensively, we hurt ourselves as well. We end up having 5 errors, as you see there on your screen. But Hagerstown, you got to give them credit. They took advantage when opportunities presented themselves. And, that's just a part of the game. That's what you're supposed to do. Take advantage on your opponent's mistakes and miscues and exploit them as much as you possibly can. And, it's just, another evening to where, you can learn, get better from this. Again, yes, the score is what it is. I'm sure it could probably have been a lot worse, but I think we are, it's the second game of the season, but I can already tell that there is improvement there, especially from last year to this year. We do have, obviously some familiar faces, but also some newcomers. We had 4 freshmen in a starting lineup tonight. So there's no doubt a promising future, but here in the present, I think that there's promise as well. I think that these girls really did some good things. We, along with having 5 errors, we did also show in multiple occasions some signs of great defense as well. Again, it's not necessarily all about, the things you might have done wrong. There was also some things that we did right too, that sometimes gets a little overshadowed at times. But, just got to keep working. Obviously not a lot of time this week to practice. Obviously, with having 4 games in 4 days, but you got to learn on the fly. Got to correct things on the fly, and get better. And hopefully the Raiders will be back at it tomorrow night with a renewed vigor, and hopefully come out and put on a great performance and find a way to get their first win of the season against Mississinawa there at 5:30 p.m. here from Raider Field. The final line score here this evening, folks. Hagerstown, again, claims victory. 13 runs on 16 hits, 1 error, and 5 left on base. Wapahani, 1 run on 3 hits, also 5 errors, and 6 left on base. Again, the winning pitcher here tonight would be Cindy Dobbs here for Hagerstown, and the losing pitcher there for Zoe Koger. But, again, I didn't think Zoe pitched necessarily all that bad. Again, just some good timely hitting. Again, defense didn't necessarily play in her favor as well at times. Just a variety. But, again, second game of the season. Don't put too much stock into it here throughout the season. And tomorrow night, again, as I mentioned, they'll be at home here against Mississinawa. We will not be broadcasting that game. So, again, not that we don't necessarily want to. Some different things going on, that will kind of prevent us from, doing some games at different times, especially home games. So just kind of bear with us. We're going to try to get out here as much as we can for softball, baseball, so on and so forth, because it matters to us. These student athletes matter, and so we're going to try to get out here as much as we possibly can. But they'll get back at it tomorrow night, 5:30. So again, we want to thank you all of you for tuning in here this evening. And final score: Hagerstown 13.